Hello everyone. Welcome back to another lecture on reasoning ability and problem solving. In today's lecture, we will discuss a new topic called coded inequalities, and we will discuss all the types of questions that you can get in your competitive exam from this particular topic. So let us start. What do you mean by coded inequalities? So basically, coded inequalities are a type of logical reasoning puzzle that represents relationships between elements using symbols or codes. So what do you mean by that? So first let us understand what does inequality means. Inequalities, as the name suggests, mean certain things are not equal. They can be either more or less, or certain relationships can be established between them. So in coded inequalities we use certain symbols. For example, we use a symbol this basically means, or if I'm taking two things, let's say A and B. So this symbol means A is greater than B, correct? This means A is greater than B. This symbol, what does this mean? This means A is smaller than B, correct? We have already learned these symbols in our earlier classes. A equals to B means A is equivalent to B, correct? A is equivalent to B. This is the symbol for equal. Then we have a new symbol like this. This symbol basically means that A is either greater or equal to B. So now we have two possibilities. A could be either greater to B or A could be either equal to B. Similarly, we have this symbol. Okay, this symbol means A is either smaller to B or it is equal to B. So in these two symbols, there are two possibilities. So in these three symbols, there was only one possibility. Either A is greater than B, A is smaller than B, A is equal to B. Three possibilities individually. In these two scenarios, we have two possibilities. So either greater or equal to, or either smaller or equal to. Okay, these are the only 5 symbols that you have to remember for coded inequalities. These are the only 5 symbols, nothing more than this. Okay, so these 5 symbols will be used for answering questions in coded inequalities. Okay, now let us understand this better with the help of some questions. So in coded inequalities, you can get 3 types of questions. Type 1 is direct inequality. Direct means it will be given to us A is greater than B is greater than C equals to D, something like this. Okay, something like this. So these are your direct inequality. Coded inequality means it would be given to us that A at the rate P. Okay, this is the symbol. So this symbol, let's say, is coded for A is greater than B. Similarly, you will get A hashtag B, let's say. So this symbol is coded for A is smaller than B. So basically the concept of coding decoding, we have already done that, correct? So concept of coding decoding is added into inequalities. So these type of questions you can get in coded inequalities. Then we have missing inequalities. Missing inequalities means that you will have this, for example, and you will be asked which element or which symbol should be inserted over here to make A greater than B. So we will insert this, correct? Which symbol should be inserted over here to make B smaller than equal to C? So this symbol will be inserted. These kind of questions comes in your missing inequalities. Okay, so let us start by understanding type 1 direct inequalities. So over here, whenever you get a question like this, always move from the bigger door to the smaller door. What do you mean by this? Basically, it means that if we have like this, okay, or we have this symbol, correct? We have this symbol. We consider this to be the bigger door and we consider this part to be the smaller door. This is just a short trick you can say, or a tip you can say, to solve these kind of questions. We move from the direction of a bigger door to a smaller door to solve such questions on inequalities. Okay, so this little concept of moving from a bigger door to a smaller door will be required to solve questions on inequalities. This makes the work faster. Okay, now let us first understand the question from question number 1. So this statement is given to us. This statement is given to us which shows relationship between D, G, H, J, F, L, K, these elements, right? And certain conclusions are given to us. These are the two conclusions. We have to identify which of the following conclusions are true based on this statement. Correct? Now, if I look over here, the first conclusion is H is greater to F. So we will move from bigger door to smaller door, correct? We will move from bigger to smaller. So we will move from H. Now I can look over here that H is equal to J. H is equal to J. And over here I can see that J is greater than F. J is greater than F. So I can write the relationship like this, correct? And if H is equal to J, if I remove this, I can say that H is greater to F because it is equal to J and J was greater to F. So I can write it like this, correct? So I can say this conclusion is true. Okay, now coming to K is smaller than equal to G. So we will move from bigger door to smaller door. We will move from G. Now over here I see G, correct? But both the sides, G is smaller than H and G is smaller than D. This is given to us. We have to move from bigger door to smaller door. Do we have a bigger door in front of G? No. This is small, this is small. So basically, based on this statement, I cannot assume that G is greater to anything. Because over here we have symbols of G being the smaller one. So I can say this statement is false. Correct? This statement is false. I do not have a door to follow. I do not have a bigger door. So if I look at the options, this option says that only conclusion 1 is true. So if only 1 is true, that means 2 will be false. So my answer will be option number 1. Clear? This is the solution. Now let us look at question number 2. So question number 2, again a statement is given to us which shows the relationship between V, Q, R, W, so on. And two conclusions are given to us. And we have to tell which conclusion is true, correct? Now, the first is P is greater to Q. So we will move from the bigger door to the smaller door. That means we will move from P to Q. So P is over here. If I see bigger door, P is greater than X, greater than equal to X. Correct? Now, do we see any relationship of X anywhere? No. So, if I cannot find a relationship of X, if I cannot find a bigger door than X, then I cannot establish the relationship between P and Q. Because we do not have any more doors to follow. There is no relationship of X given in any of the statement. So, I can say this one is false. Correct? Now I will follow the same approach for Q. So Q is greater than equal to X. So we will start from Q, go to X. So here I can see that Q is greater to V. Correct? Q is greater to V. And can I find the relationship between V and X? No. I cannot find a relationship between V and X in this statement. So here also we cannot find the relationship between Q and X because there is no more door to follow. There is no relationship of V with any person. It is not given in the statement. So this statement will also be false. So if both the statements are false, my answer will be option number 4, that neither conclusion 1 nor conclusion 2 is true. Okay, this will be my answer. Moving on to question number 3. Question number 3, this statement is given to us, two conclusions are given to us, and we have to identify which one is true. So Q is less than equal to N, correct? So we will move from bigger door to smaller door. So from N to Q. So n, I can see a relationship between s. So n is greater than equal to s. This is given to us, correct? And I can see a relationship between s and q, that s is equals to q, correct? I can see this relationship. Now, if I delete this, I can see that n is greater than equal to q, correct? So this statement will be true. Now let us look at w is greater than equal to o. So we will move from w to o. W is greater than equal to o. So now from bigger door, I can see over here that w is greater than s, correct? W is greater than s. Do we have a relationship of s with o? We do have a relationship that says that s is less than equal to o, because o is equal to n. So s is less than equal to o. So can we find a definite relationship between w and o? No, because they are both bigger to s. But what is the relationship between w and o? That cannot be established. So this statement will be false. So my answer will be that only conclusion 1 is true, correct? This will be my answer. Moving on to type 2, coded inequalities. So coded inequalities, basically coding, decoding plus inequalities, you can say. Coding, decoding plus direct inequalities, or you can say inequalities. That is the entire concept. So we will use the concept of inequalities, and we will also use the concept of coding and decoding. So now let us look at this question. It says that certain symbols are being used. These are the 5 symbols are being used. So 5 symbols will denote the 5 operations, that is greater than, smaller than, equal to, greater than equal to, and smaller than equal to. These are the 5 symbols. They are represented by this. It says that p at the rate q means p is neither smaller nor equal. So if it is not small, it is not equal, that means it is greater. So p is greater than q, because it is not smaller, it is not equal, that means it is greater. Okay, p hashtag q basically means p is neither greater nor equal to q. So p is not greater also, p is not equal also, that means p will be smaller than q, correct? Because we have eliminated the possibility of p being greater and p being equal. So p will be smaller than q. Now, $Q means p is neither smaller nor greater. So $Q means neither small nor great. If you are neither small nor great, it means p will be equal to q, correct? Then p percentage q means p is not greater. So if you are not greater, you could be either smaller or you could be either equal, correct? You could be either smaller or equal. So this will be there. And p and q means p is not smaller. So if it is not smaller, it could be greater or equal to q. So this is how we are coded. These are the coded inequalities and these are the direct inequalities, correct? So from coded, we have converted them into direct inequalities, and based on that, we will get certain questions. So this you can note down somewhere. Okay, this you can note down somewhere for future questions, or I'm going to write them on each page. Okay, now let us look at question number 1. So let me quickly write. P at the rate q means p is greater than q. P hashtag q means p is smaller than q. $Q means p is equal to q. Similarly, p percentage q means p is smaller than equal to q, and p and q means p is greater than equal to q. So these were the coded inequalities or the coded directions. Now, this statement is given to us. First, we will convert this statement into the direct inequalities. So if I convert this, I will get n is at the rate sign. These are the signs, they will be decoded like this. So this will be greater than v, correct? V will be equal to w. Now, w will be less than equal to k, and k will be less than l, correct? And L will be less than equal to R. So if I turn these codes into these codes, I will get this. This will be my statement. Correct? Now we will do the same thing for conclusions. So L is basically more than N, K is basically less than R, and V is basically less than equal to R. Correct? These are your codes. So what I have done? I have turned coded inequalities into direct inequalities, and now I will solve. So we will move from bigger door to smaller door. So if I look at L is greater than N, correct? L is greater than N. I can see over here that we have a relationship of L and W, and we have a relationship of W and N. So I can see L is greater than K, which is greater than equal to W, correct? And W is basically less than N, correct? W is equal to V, and V is less than N. So can we find the relationship between L and N? No, because we don't have the bigger door to follow. Here the things have changed, correct? So this is false. Now let us look at option number 2 or conclusion number 2. Conclusion number 2, we will move from bigger door to smaller door. That means we will move from R to K. So if I look over here, I can see the relationship between R and L and K. So this is the relationship I can see. So basically R is greater than equal to L and L is greater than K. So I have to find the relationship between R and K. So I can easily see that R is greater to K. Correct? We are moving from bigger door to smaller door. So this is true. Correct? Now coming back to conclusion number 3. Conclusion number 3 says that R is greater than equal to V. So I can see the relationship between R and L and W and V. So if I write it, R is greater than equal to L is greater than K is greater than equal to W, and W equals to V. Correct? This is the relationship. Now we have to tell whether R is greater than equal to V. So R is greater than equal to L. But over here the sign has changed. This sign is greater than, not greater than equal to. If this would have been like this, then I could conclude, okay, R is greater than equal to V, but this sign is like this. Therefore, this is also false. So basically, only 2 conclusion is true. My answer will be option number 4, only 2. Clear? So this is how you solve questions on coded inequalities. You first convert them into direct inequalities and then find the answer. Moving on to question number 2. Question number 2 basically states that, again we will use the same codes. So P@Q is P greater than Q. P#Q is P less than Q. Similarly, P$Q is P equals to Q. P%Q is P less than equal to Q, and P and Q basically means P is greater than equal to Q. These are your coded inequalities and direct inequalities. Now I will turn this into direct inequalities. So J is basically less than K, correct? K is greater than equal to L. L is greater than M, and M is equal to O. Similarly, O is greater than N and N is less than equal to G. So now I have converted them into direct inequalities. I will do the same thing for conclusions. So G is basically greater than equal to M. K is basically greater than O, and M is basically greater than G. Correct? Now, if I look at these options, G is greater than equal to M. That means we have to move from G to M. So G to M. I can see G is greater than equal to N, but I cannot see any relationship between N and M. So this is not true, or I can say this is not definitive. We cannot identify whether this is true or not because we do not know the relationship between G and M. Now, if I move to K and O, okay, K is greater to O. So I will move from K to O. If I move from K to O, I can see over here, K is greater than equal to L, L is greater than M. So K is greater than equal to L and L is greater than M, which is equals to O. So I can conclude that K will be greater than O. So this statement is true. Correct? Now if I look over here, M is greater than G. So M is equal to O is greater than N. Again, between M and G, I cannot establish any relationship. So now if I look at option number 1 and 3, we have G and M. Correct? But we cannot find the relationship between G and M. So what are the three relationships that are possible? It could be either bigger, it could be either lesser, or it could be equal to. Correct? These are the three relationships that are possible. So it could be either option 1 or it could be option number 2. So basically option number 3. So basically option either 1 or 3 could be true. Correct? Either 1 or 3 could be true. So my answer will be option number 2, which says 2 and either 1 or 3. Correct? Moving on to question number 3. Let me quickly write the codes for your reference. P@Q means P is greater than Q. P hashtag Q means P is less than Q. $Q means P is equal to Q. P%Q means P is less than equal to Q, and P and Q means P is greater than equals to Q. These are your coded and direct inequalities. So I will convert them into direct inequalities. This will be N is less than M. M is greater than equal to L. L is less than J. J is greater than equal to O. O is greater than equal to V. This will be the relationship. I will convert the options as well. So M is greater than N. This is given in the first option or the first conclusion. J is less than V and L is basically less than equal to N. This is given in the options. So we will move from bigger door to smaller door. Correct? So now bigger door says M. We will move from M to N. Correct? We will move from M to N. So M I can see is directly bigger than M. M is greater than N is given in the question. So this is true. Okay. Moving forward we will move from V to J. So over here I can see V is smaller than equal to O. So I cannot see a bigger door next to V. This is the smaller side. So this will automatically be false because we cannot find any relationship between V and J. Correct? Now let us look at over here. N is greater than equal to L. That means we will move from N to L. So again over here I can see N but we have a smaller door. Correct? Over here we have N but we have a smaller door. We cannot proceed because we have to move from a bigger door to a smaller door. So this is also false. So my answer will be that only option number 1 or conclusion number 1 is true. So my answer will be 1 only. Clear? So this is how you solve questions on type 2 coded inequalities. Then we have type 3 missing inequalities. Type 3 missing inequalities. So we have to find which of the following expressions will the expression P is less than M. So P is less than M has to be definitely true. So we will move from bigger to smaller. Correct? Bigger door to smaller door. Over here I can see in front of M. Do we have a bigger door? No. So I can say over here it is false. Correct? Now coming to option number 2. I do see a bigger door. From bigger door I have moved to S. From here I have moved to U. But now we have a smaller door. So can we proceed from U to P? No, because we need a bigger door. We need this sign. Therefore, this is also false. Correct? Looking at option number 3. We will move from M. From bigger door. So if I move from M bigger door, I will move to Q. From bigger door to smaller door. Then I cannot proceed. So this is also false. Correct? Looking at option number 4, I will proceed from M bigger door. So from M I can go to R. From R I can go to A and I know that A is equals to P. That means this is definitely a statement where M is greater than P. Correct? So my answer will be option number 4. Option number 4, M is greater than P. Definitely greater than P. Okay? Now, Question number 2 says that we have to find an expression where S is greater than V is definitely false. Correct? It is definitely false. That means S should be less than or equal to V. So we have 3 options or 4 options. S is equal to V, S is less than V, S is less than equal to V, or S is greater than equal to V. So if we get these 4 options, that means we will get the correct answer. Okay, because then this will be definitely false. Now, so we will move from S to V. So over here, I can move from S to V. I can see I can go here, here to here, here to here. There is no restriction from bigger door to smaller door. So in this particular scenario, S is greater than V is true. Therefore, this will not be the answer. Okay. Moving on to option number 2. Moving from S, I can move up to here. Correct? From bigger door to smaller door. Now, when I reach this position, S, then A, then P. Correct? I cannot proceed after P. And I cannot see any relationship between P and V. So I can conclude that in this statement, in this particular statement, this will be definitely false. So my answer will be option number 2. But let us check, okay? Over here, from S to V, I can clearly go like this. Correct? I can clearly go like this. So this is also false. Now, over here I can see from S I can move to F, and from F I can move to V, from bigger door to smaller door. So this is also not correct. And over here also I can move from S to P and from P to V. So this is also not correct. So my correct answer will be option number 2. Clear? Now let us look at question number 3. So in question number 3, it says which of the following symbols should be placed in blank spaces. So certain blank spaces are given to us respectively in the same order. Okay. From left to right, in order to complete the sign expression, that means D is greater to S and B is greater to S. So we have to fill in such symbols that makes D greater than S and B greater than S. So if I have to make B greater than S, over here we should have this symbol or we should have this symbol, correct? Anything in this direction. So if I look at option number 1, 2, 3, 4, the first 2 symbols is like this, correct? So I cannot eliminate any option. Now we want D to be greater than S, correct? We want D to be greater than S. That means we should get either of these symbols, correct? We should get anything that is greater or equal. So over here, if I look over here, I am getting this. But now the directions have changed in option number 2, 3 and 4. In 2, 3 and 4, we have these symbols. So these will make it incorrect. We want these 2 conditions to be absolutely true. But these symbols will make them incorrect. So my answer will be option number 1. If I fill in these things, okay, if I say B is greater than A, which is greater than equal to S, which is less than E, which is equal to D. Now, if I check the situations, for D equals to S, we will move from bigger door to smaller door. So, D, E and then S. I can move, so this is definitely true. Similarly, if I have to find out B is greater than S, I will move from bigger door to smaller door. So, from here to here. So, this is also definitely true. So, my answer will be option number 1. Clear? So, this is how you solve questions on type 3, that is missing inequalities. So, we have discussed all the types of questions that you can get. We have discussed different symbols. From the next lecture onward, we will discuss the examples and the exercise questions. So, this concludes today's lecture. Thank you.